stopped me on the corner. Swear you hit me like a vision. I wasn't expecting, but who am I to tell fate where it's supposed to go with it? Don't you blink, you might miss it. See, we got a right to just love it or leave it. You find it and keep it, cause it ain't every day you get the chance to say, oh, this is how it starts. Lightning strikes the heart. It goes off like a gun, brighter than the sun.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Three Stitches podcast. This is episode 81, I believe. 81? Yep, 81. Not even 13 seconds of the podcast, and I'm already checking what episode it is, because I didn't write it down. Didn't write anything down. No show notes today. I'm going without show notes today because I have a very, very, very short time to record today. It is a little before 12:30, and at 12:45, 12:50ish, if I walk fast, I have to go to a seminar on memory techniques so that I can take notes and apply them to the focus class that I help teach on Tuesdays. Because Tuesday we're doing all about memory, and it was sort of a happy coincidence that they're doing a seminar on memory techniques today. So yeah, I have about 15 minutes to record. No, a little bit longer than that. So it'll be sort of a short episode today. It would have been a short episode anyways, because not much has happened. My entire life has been consumed by schoolwork. As Mom said on Monday, Lindsay and I are very, very, very busy. I'll get an idea of just how busy that is. I'll give you an overview of what's happened in the past week or so. About only one social thing. Nope, two. I forgot about Thursday night. But let's see. So this is episode 81. It is Wednesday, October 3rd. We are into October. We are into the last month of our premium blanket drive. A week from Sunday, it will be ending. So if you're working on blankets, set those needles on fire, set those crochet hooks on fire, get them up, get them finished, and send in so that you can be entered into our drawing. Lots of fabulous prizes to be won. I'm very jealous of you all. Let me just tip my camera up so you can see a little better. There we go. So I'm very jealous of you all because we have some amazing prizes to give away. To thank you all for your tremendously hard work in making these pretty blankets. So, I have like I don't know what, one of those like splinters off your nail when like the cuticle kind of sort of. So that's what I'm playing with. These things bug me until they come off. But there we go. It's coming off. What has happened? So right before I recorded on Wednesday, I told you I was going to Dick and Aaron's house, although Aaron was out of town. And that's why we were going for game night. We were playing Settlers of Catan again, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite games. It's a lot of fun. I've yet to win though, but that's okay. It's the spirit of the game. And so it was Ross, Dick, Amanda, and I. So we had a good time. Yeah. So it was sort of a late night. Dick was apparently working the game over at the college center, and didn't get back till about 10ish. I want to say, yeah, 10ish. So I got a text. Fell asleep before the text, and when I woke up suddenly and realized that there were two text messages that had just come in. It was like, "Are we still up for a game?" Yeah, sorry, I fell asleep. I'll be right over. So went over there, played, got back around 12:30 or so. So, but I don't have classes on Thursday, so it's good. I just look it up at a reasonable time. Got about 7 o'clock. So yeah. Thursday. Oh, Thursday was bingo. So yeah, we played bingo. Good turnout again this time. Not as big as the first bingo of the semester, but definitely good turnout. And then not as big turnout. People are studying. People are getting midterms time. People are taking priorities, and they're favoring studying over going to bingo, which I almost did, but I got enough work done so I could relax, bring my knitting, get lots of stares, and play bingo. And so yeah, I brought my pie shell. I got one row done because the rows are that long that they're taking me about an hour to do, and yep, bingo lasts about an hour and a half. So yeah, and so I mean, it wasn't as fast as I could be because I had to stop every few minutes to cover a number. But kind of, I freaked Crystal out a little bit. She's sitting there. She's like, "You barely even stopped to cross out a number," because I mean it was just one of the like the slide window boards, and so it's like yeah, just like and be like, "Oh yeah, that's my number. Oh yeah, that's my number." Kind of freaked her out a little bit, I think, but such is the life of a knitter. So I got a row done on my pie shawl. Other than that, I think I got maybe 2 more rows done on my pie shawl. Other than that, yeah, it's coming along slowly, very slowly, but surely. Maybe by the end of the semester I'll have it done. Maybe. Um, Friday I did my first day of observations for the semester. So I went out to Public School 69, Houghton Academy, and it's about a 40-minute bus ride. So, but that factors in one stop, and the time between buses was about 15 minutes. So I'm not like way out in the boondocks. No, it probably about a 10-minute drive from school, but a 40-minute bus ride because buses are slow and there's stops. It's not a taxi service. It just can't take you from destination to destination B. Doesn't happen that way. The mass transport system. So it was a great day. I I called down at school 3. I would really like to do my observations at school 3 because it's right down the road and I can walk there. But I called 2 weeks ago, and they haven't called me back still. And so I was kind of in a time crunch because my first observation report was due yesterday. And so I called last Thursday. Was like, "Hey, so I kind of need to come in and do some observation hours." And they're like, "Sure, when you come in, when can you come in?" I'm like, "How about tomorrow?" They're like, "Yeah, sure, come on in." All right, sounds good. A lot better than school 3. And it was a really nice school. Um, Everyone was really nice. I met the principal. I met the assistant principal. The assistant principal took me out to the classroom herself, and so she made sure I got there. Really nice. Um, Secretaries were very friendly. Um, and when I got to the classroom um, that I was observing in, she was like, "Yeah, the one thing I remembered from doing my observations was being really bored because all the teacher did was stick me in the back of the classroom with a notebook and a pen, so I could sit there and observe a classroom, which is technically what you're supposed to do." But she's like, "You can just be my aide. Well, you can help out in the classroom, and because the best way to observe is to for hands-on activities." So I gave a spelling test. Um, for this particular observation report, I had to observe one child with a mild disability. And so she was like, "Yeah, his aide doesn't come in on Fridays, so you can just sit down next to him and you can help him with his work and you can be sort of his aide today." And I'm like, "All right, that's cool." It made the day go by really fast, which is good because I've had observations where I just sat there all day and took notes, and it is boring as you can imagine, just sitting there and watching kids all day, like not engaged, not being able to talk to them, not like they'll come and they don't know better, so they'll come up and ask you questions. You're like, "Go ask the teacher." But no, the teacher that I observed with was like, "Yeah, sure. If they ask you to the bathroom, use your own judgment. Yeah, go ahead." So it was one of the first observations I've had that um, it was fun. Observations aren't fun. So this was the exception to the rule. And if my budget would allow it, I would do all my observations there. but at $5 a day to take the bus. A day pass is $5, and I would each bus ride is $2, and so 4 bus rides, 2 there and 2 back. Yeah, that adds up. I'm not spending $8 a day, so I just bought a $5 day pass and rode the bus. So, but $5 every Friday, that starts to add up. And the monthly pass isn't really feasible because I only go on Fridays. So there's only 4 days. And it's like $70, I think. No, not doing that. So can we just switch school 3 and school 69? Put school 69 right down the street. That would be lovely. But not gonna happen. I can only hope that the teacher that I observe with, if they call me back at school 3, is just like that. And I'm engaged as well. But that took up my entire Friday. I left here at 7:30 and I got back at 4:30. And so that threw a wrench in the works in terms of homework because I had 4 papers to write that weekend. And usually I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to do homework. And I usually try and get it all done Friday or Thursday and Friday so that I can sort of do some assignments here or there, but sort of have the weekend to just, relax, which hasn't really worked in the past couple weeks because I've been very stressed out. But that's okay. But since I was gone all day on Friday, and then we had an event on Friday night called a Hoedown for Hunger that started at 5. I went at 6:30. I needed a break. I was exhausted. And so it went to 9, but I stayed until about 8 o'clock. Yeah, I did no homework on Friday. So, yeah. So I had Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday to write 3 papers, a lesson plan, and then sort of the small itty bitty little assignments here and there that crop up that are due. So busy weekend nonetheless. All right, I think we shall move on to knitting, since I have to leave in 10 minutes. But one thing before I move on to knitting, sort of a happy coincidence. Guess what I am also reading? That I also checked out from the library last week on Thursday. Yeah. So Lindsay and I, without planning, are reading the same book, but mine has a better cover. Mine has artwork on the cover. So I highly recommend this book. I haven't really gotten much chance to read it, because, as you can imagine, as I just told you, my week is very, very, very hectic last week. But we have a 3-day weekend coming up. Yay! So next week I will only have 1 class. 2 of my classes are on Monday, so yes. So I have a 5-day weekend. But I also, from the library, picked up these 2 books because I'm continuing my studies in German, and I found these 2 books. So this is just more German vocabulary and using it. And this book is entitled Toward Fluency in Speaking and Writing German. So I picked those 2 books up from the library to help. But since I'm hoping I'll be able to make use of them, they're 30-day checkouts. So, but of late I build time in my schedule to learn to teach myself and learn German, do a lesson a day. But lately, because I've been so busy, it's like, nope, that's not really like required schoolwork, so that time's gonna get pushed aside. I'm gonna replace that time with writing part of my essay. Yeah. So hopefully get back on track and we'll start that up again. All right, so I ran out of yarn as I knew I would, but I was hoping I wasn't gonna run out of yarn until the edging and to do the edging in another color of my Pruvy blanket. But it has a little yellow corner because I ran out of yarn before I got to the end. So it doesn't look too bad. It just got a little yellow corner, and then the edging is going to be on yellow to make it up to size, because right now it's only 20 inches. So maybe maybe it's 18. I don't know, but it's definitely has quite a bit of edging to put on it because yeah, there was not enough yarn. But and I know I said last week that I wanted to have it done to show you for this podcast. Yeah, as you can see, that didn't happen. And you can probably guess the reason why. So hopefully, it'll be done next week. But there's also another project that I really want to focus on this week and get it done. And that, pull out my bag of knitting. This is the bag that I take with me everywhere. Because it has my knitting in it, and you never know when you're gonna need your knitting. Oh, come on. Get out. There we go. Needles are getting caught on other needles. So, and this, the project that I would really like to focus on this week and try and get it, if not all of it, most of it done, is the semi-precious shawl. I'm about halfway, about 3/4 of the way through Chart C. I don't know how many, I haven't looked up how many repeats of Chart C I have to do, but I might do 2 because the ball is still pretty good sized. I might do 2, and there's still 2 charts after. There's total goes at chart E. Yeah. So this is how it's looking so far. I love this. Absolutely adore this pattern. It reminds me of stained glass. Absolutely adore this pattern. I'm most definitely knitting this one up again. Gorgeous. And the reason I'm going to be focusing on it quite a lot this week is because I have to get it done and sent out relatively soon. It's not for me. I'm sending it back home. So yeah, it has to be sent out by next weekend. No, probably a little bit sooner. Probably by the middle of next week. So yeah. Oh bugger. I'll be right back. I forgot to bring one of my other knitting projects over because it's finished, so it's not in my needs to be worked on bag. Okay, this is another culprit of why I don't have a lot of knitting done on the semi-precious shawl, the baby blanket, or my pie shawl. Is because over the weekend I started this because it's a birthday present for my friends whose birthday it is today. So I have to give it to her today. I finished it last night. So remember these scarves? Yeah. So I picked up the yarn at Hobby Lobby. I believe I showed it on the podcast. I picked it up at Michael's. About a month ago when I got the yarn for this bright yellow sweater that I'm doing, the bright yellow shrug, and which Amanda went to go get needles, so we'll be picking that up again. So I got the yarn to make these very lovely free scarves. So because I was wearing mine last semester, and she loves them, so I decided I would make one for her. So this is Boutique Sachet by Red Heart. I think it was like $8. So $8 for a scarf? Pretty good. Pretty good. I did it on size 6 needles. And I started it on Sunday and I finished it last night. So yeah, they're really quick to work up. Really quick turnaround, which is good because I forgot that her birthday was today. So until this weekend, I was like, oh bugger, I should probably start that. Yeah, so I love this. It's not the exact same yarn that I used for my other 2 scarves. It's sort of a cross in between. It's not the holes in the netting aren't quite as small as the one scarf that's the same color hue as this, but not quite as large as my pink one. So sort of a cross in between. My bra straps keep falling down. You didn't even know that. Alright, so that will be given to her today. So yeah, that's the culprit for not getting knitting on my other projects done for the beginning of this week. All over the school. So, okay. Gotta wrap this up. So I gotta go in 5 minutes. Okay. Last thing to show is my pie shawl. So it's coming along smoothly. It looks the same, but I've gotten about 3 rows done on it this week. But it looks the same. Because when something is this large, you're not going to see much progress on it until it's done. Or unless you're the person working on it. Then all of a sudden you're going to look down and be like, whoa! That got big! So, yeah. There's the pie shell. It still looks like a giant net. Or a chef's hat. Giant chef's hat at that. Alright, so I know this is kind of rushed. Next week will be better, but I have to go attend the seminar. And then class is at 2:30 to 5:20, so yeah. About the only time I could podcast. Alright. I hope everyone has a very good week. Lindsay will see you on Friday, and Mom will see you on Monday. Leave a star rating on iTunes. Leave a comment on our blog if you like what you see, or if you don't like what you see, tell us what we can do better. Join our Ravelry group, 3 Stitches Podcast, and you can join in our Pretty Blanket Drive. There's still time to knit a blanket up if you want to join and be entered into a prize. Private message us on Ravelry for our address. I think that's all. So I'm going to end this, dash out of here real quick. So I will say goodbye. If I can find my mouse. There's my mouse. Bye!